Hello, everyone. Today we have a special video for you. Our beautiful executive director, Katerina Romanenko, our leading psychologist, Alessia Bolichenko, both in pink. And I was not prepared to the pink party. Nobody told me to wear pink. Anyway, in this video, I want to discuss with you comments that gentleman left to one of the recent videos. The video was devoted to dating single mothers. And to be honest, I didn't expect this topic to be so provocative. I didn't expect so much attention to this topic. And I was surprised with all the comments. I want to read them to you and I want to discuss them with you, because over the years, we have introduced singles who didn't have kids before. We have introduced them. We have introduced single parents. We have introduced ladies who are single mothers, gentlemen who are single fathers, and they have created families. And never ever it was an issue. So to be honest, I was surprised with this harsh reaction. Girls, have you watched the video, the one that I have filmed in Munich, or as they say in Germany, München?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you like it?
Hello,
Yes.
by the way. And yes,
What?
it was an interesting video.
So I will read you some of the comments, and I want to hear your thoughts. So the gentleman writes, single mothers need to lower their prior standards and start thinking of settling with a man who is not the top choice, and perhaps much older than her. She is no longer in a position where she can be picky. Those days are gone.
Mm-hmm. The person who has left this comment, first of all, I would say that he is maybe angry at someone, or maybe he was offended by single mother one day in his life. So, of course, we are coming back to the thought that pretty often such ladies can be desperate, like he has this thought, I think, in his mind. So that's why they are not anymore in a position of choice. So they don't choose anymore, and they have to agree to any person who pays attention on them. Of course, it's not true. Of course,
a man or a woman can be desperate without kids and without past marriage. So it's never a good idea to date someone desperate. I agree with you. But having a kid from the first marriage doesn't equal desperation.
Absolutely. And of course, if a lady has a child, it doesn't make her worse or not beautiful, not so smart, I don't know, or doesn't make her qualities less valuable. So of course, this guy, he's not right, or maybe he was meeting always wrong single mothers in his life. I have no idea why he has such thoughts, but of course it's very far from reality. And in real life, of course, a lady who has children, she's absolutely equal to a lady who doesn't have kids, and all her qualities will be the same. So of course it's not true. And this lady, they don't put their standards on a lower level just because they have kids. Of course, they also have their criteria, how they choose a gentleman, and they're not desperate at all.
Katerina, I would disagree with the word equal. I don't think that's the right word. Of course, if the lady, she's a single mother, let's say she's 27 and she has a 2 years old. And there are many ladies in this age group who are also 27, but they have never been married and they don't have kids. Of course, there will be men who won't be open to date a 27 years old with a 2 years old. So you can't say that her options, that her the pool of candidates will be same. But does it mean that she won't be able to meet someone? Of course not. Again, it depends on the age group. If we are talking about the age group, let's say a lady in her 40s or in her 50s, chances will be very high that she will have kids, because, well, we live our life and people meet, people build relationship. And if the lady is, for example, 45 and she has never been married and she doesn't have kids, it's not a signal that something is wrong with her. But sometimes there is a reason why. She was too picky. She couldn't pick a man because nobody was good enough. She was focused on her career. She's still focused on her career. So there can be different reasons. Same applies to men. So it depends on the age group. Of course, if she's 27 or 24, which is quite rare when at such a young age a person is already divorced with a child, but well, things happen. If a lady is 24 or 27 and she has a kid, will she be able to date same man as, for example, a 24 years old who doesn't have children? Probably not. If she is 27 and her father is very rich and she is very pretty, will it influence drastically, like the fact that she has kids, will it influence drastically her options? I can't say so. So you have to look at the whole picture. Alisa, and what do you have to say to this comment?
I want to say about a top guy. There is something about top guy.
Ah.
And what does it mean, top guy?
Like
for
top
every
choice.
person, like top choice. For every person, we have our own understanding. What does it mean, top? Yes. And for example, for 18 years old girl and for 40 years old lady with a child or without child, there would be totally different top guys, you know. And for a lady
and
who
for
has
27 years old too.
Yes. So, and for example, like a very handsome guy from the magazine, he's not a top for everyone. And a lady who is a child and, for example, 40 years old lady who has a child, she will have like maybe a totally different understanding of top guy that you are writing about. So it's top guy is the person that is our person, the person that we are on the same page, you know. This is a top guy for us.
Who ticks our boxes.
Yes.
Katya, you wanted to add something before I have interrupted you. Sorry.
I just wanted to explain that when I said equal, I was talking about the qualities of a lady. So if she is beautiful, then she is as well beautiful as a lady without kids. Of course, about her chances, then her chances will be a little different. But if you're talking about her qualities, she can be very successful in career as well as a lady without kids. She can be very beautiful. She can be very smart. So all the qualities that a lady without kids has too.
The pink team, are you ready for the next comment?
Of course.
So the gentleman writes, there are a lot of wonderful single moms out there. However, there are also a lot of reasons why men don't want to date single mothers. My perspective is that of an American. So the stats that I will use come from the US and may not apply to other countries. And then there is a list. First, in the US, the divorce rate for first marriages, that is both spouses are not are on their first marriage, is about 45%. When one of the spouses is on their second marriage, the odds of divorce jump to about 60%. In other words, I'm going into a marriage where from the get-go, the odds are against me. Let's discuss this one and then I will read the rest to you. So the gentleman basically writes that if he will date and marry a lady who has been married before, then his chances for divorce are much higher based on the statistic in the United States.
It's very interesting what kind of, statistics in general. It has to be made on the exact group of people. If we're talking just about Americans and we are not talking about international dating, just in a frame
we don't know the age groups again. Maybe this statistic includes people who got married when they were 19 and 20. And yes, of course, if we're talking about such young marriages or about shotgun marriages, again, we will have one statistic. If we are talking about people who got married, for example, in their late 20s or early 30s, I'm sure we'll get another statistic. So it's important to understand what age groups we are talking about, because if they got married when they were 19 or 20, chances that in 10 years they will still be on the same page and their long-term goals will be same, their values will remain same. They're quite slim, to be honest.
Of course, statistics in general, it's such a strange thing, because if you want to get some results, if you choose the exact group of people, you will get the results you want to get. So it depends on many factors, like you just said, the age group of ladies, when the search was done. So if you're talking about the search that was done 20 or 30 years ago, then now the situation will be different. So there are so many details about
Are we
statistics.
talking about small towns, villages, or big towns? Because usually people in small towns and villages, they tend to get married younger. And if you're talking about national statistics, then of course, the amount of people who live in small towns and cities, and their marriages and divorce rate, it will affect the whole statistic. Well, in big cities, the statistic will be different because people tend to get married later in life, because usually they get an education and they marry later. But again, we will get an average statistics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Alisa, do you want to add something about this?
Yes. I won't talk about statistic at all. What is a divorce for a person, especially if this is your first marriage? Usually, it doesn't matter if you live in a big city or in a small town. When you get married, you hope that this is for the whole life, and you choose this person and you believe in this fairy tale. And when it happens like a divorce, so usually for all people, this is like a small tragedy. So divorce, it's like a very
or a big tragedy.
Yes, it's like a very not very good event in our life. Yes, and a lot of people, they are afraid of divorce because they don't know how their life will be after this divorce. And when you are already divorced, you usually understand that after divorce, you also have some life. You will survive after divorce. And if we are looking at divorce from this point of view, so yes.
Not just survive, but also thrive very often.
Yes, you have like a very bright life. You can have a very bright life after divorce. So divorce is not, it's not equal to death. You will be alive and you have an ability to have your own bright life after divorce. And the person that went through divorce once, he has this person, he had this experience of divorce and living after divorce. Yes, the idea of second divorce is not like such a big tragedy as a first time, if you understand what I'm talking about. But people who got a divorce in their life, they have this experience of the first marriage. They understand that they made something wrong. They work a lot with themselves to make their communication skills, to make their understanding of who they are, what they want in their life. So the second, third relationship in our life after divorce usually are, better because we pay more attention of building them.
You have been divorced, so you know it from
Yes.
your first. You know it firsthand.
Of course I am. After divorce, there is a life.
I agree with you about experience because very often, if, for example, we are talking about certain age, of course, if we are talking about the age group, he is 27, she is 27, and you can understand the desire to start from scratch, to start from the clean page, as one can call it. But if the gentleman is, let's say, 45, and he claims that he wants to date only someone who is never married, who doesn't have kids, and he's 45.
Virgin.
Okay, we're not talking about this scenario, relationship virgin. So pretty much all his relationships were like 5 dates top. So he has never lived with a woman. He has never seriously dated a woman in a sense that that they have been together for over a year, over, for example, than 10 months. Her experience of marriage and divorce can be beneficial for both of them, like you have mentioned, because she can be more logical and pragmatic about marriage and relationship, while he can still romanticize everything. So he still had these pink glasses, and his perception about love and relationship in general can be very juvenile, in a sense that for him, falling in love means like having lots of drama, having these butterflies in the stomach. So everything like it was when you were 19 and in college. But later on, when you get this experience, when you build a relationship, you learn that love and quality love, it's not the type of love that we have experienced in college. It's something different. Not bad different, of course, good different, but it is different. So at certain age groups, when gentlemen say that, okay, he is 45 or 50 or 55, and he wants to date someone who has never been married, the pool of candidates will be very limited. Of course, there will be people who didn't get a chance to get married for valid reasons. She was taking care of sick parents and she didn't have the time. She was working on her PhD and then working on her career. She has wasted 7 years for a guy who has promised to propose and he never did. And she didn't get married because she was with him. She was in a relationship, but she was not officially married. And he can also face other type of people. Women who haven't been married because she is so picky, because her expectations regarding her partner are unrealistically high, because she is over dramatic, because she has certain issues and she can't build a relationship, because she doesn't want a relationship, well, but she continues casually dating people, well, society expects her to have a partner. So if a man in his 40s or in his 50s or in his late 30s will limit himself only to women who has never been married and who don't have kids, he risks facing all this type of women I have just described.
Mm-hmm.
Katerina, do you agree with us?
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. And in my opinion, to judge people just by the fact that the person was already married or was not married, because sometimes gentlemen think that it is also very strange if, for example, she is 35 and she didn't have a serious relationship and was not married. So people just put a lot of conditions in their heads when they paint in their imagination the portrait of the potential match. Very often they put so many conditions that are not connected with real life. So this strict standard that she has to be not divorced, she has to have a serious relationship, or vice versa. She doesn't have to build a relationship before she met me. Because in real life the person, yes, she or he is more experienced when she or he had already marriage before. Yes, they had this exact experience, but it doesn't mean that they will come to the next relationship or next marriage to repeat this experience and to get divorced. So it's very shallow to think that the person will always repeat the same scenario in their life. So like I said at the beginning, it's a strange statistic, and we don't know other conditions of these statistics, of this group of people on whom these statistics was made.
Alicia, I have a question to you. And if we're talking about a situation when the lady or a man has been married twice and divorced twice, or maybe 3 times, okay, one divorce, like start marriage, especially if people got married very young, for all their own reasons, for love and passion, if they claimed, and without looking at the long-term perspective. If it is like the third marriage we are talking about,
it can be. We have like a very interesting life right now. You know, we have a lot of things that happen in our life that have never happened before, like COVID and some other things. And people in this all the situations, we have a lot of new fears, you know, like and new goals maybe, and even values. And it happens that people can be divorced once, twice, and it doesn't blame them because of this.
so in your opinion, the fact that, for example, she or he has been married twice or three times, it's not a red flag?
Yeah. It can be a red flag. It can be not a red flag. You know, you need to communicate to a person to understand, because maybe you are a three time you got a divorce, and she has divorced once or twice, but maybe you are on the same page right now, and for you this communication can be a very interesting and that you are looking for. Maybe not.
Okay, do you want to add something, or can we move to the point number 2 of this comment?
I need to go to make an interview with one beautiful lady.
Okay, we will let you go, and we will continue with Katerina. So, Katerina, second, there will always be some drama, some form of drama between the mother and the children's father, providing that the father is part of the children's life. Despite being directly impacted by it, I will have no say.
No, of course, let's be honest that if a lady, she has children, then of course it can be that the part of her ex-husband in life of children, he will present. So it's fine that these children, they have a father, and of course you will need to build, when you just meet a single person without kids, of course you are building one type of connection. When you meet a lady who has kids, you need to build a communication and connection with her, and with her kids, and sometimes with the guy who is the father of the kids. So it can be, but does it make your chances to build a successful and healthy relationship smaller? No. So you just will need to build a more different relationship in your life. But it doesn't mean that it will make you unhappy or it's so complicated. It depends on your attitude to it. It is always a chance to build healthy communication with other people. It doesn't mean that that person, their father, is a bad guy, or that he will do everything to ruin their new life. No, it's only in movies there is a terrible guy who appears in their life and tries to...
Katerina, in real life it can also happen this way, but again, the fact that she doesn't have kids doesn't guarantee drama-free relationship. She can bring all the drama. Or for example, your in-laws can bring drama. Your mother can bring drama once you start building a relationship. You never know where the drama will come from. But again, you build a relationship with a lady, and this is a relationship you have to cherish and protect. Then there will be, if she has kids from previous relationship, then you will build relationship with the kids. Because kids will live your life eventually. They will move to college, they will get married. Of course, they will always be a part of her life. But I can't say that the fact that she has been married and she has kids equals drama. Again, we have to talk about the arrangement, what type of arrangement she has with her ex-husband. Usually when I conduct the interview with a gentleman or a lady who is divorced and has children, I always ask about this arrangement, whether kids stay with their mom. Okay, kids stay with their mom. Does your ex-wife live in the same city? Because very often, for example, the lady and the child, they live in one city and the father has moved on to another city and he has remarried. And for example, he sees the kids only twice per year on holidays. They go on holiday together. This is the arrangement. For example, he has the kids every weekend, or the arrangement is that 1 week kids stay with their mother, second week they stay with their father, and they live in the same town. There can be so many scenarios, and it depends on the lady. I have a friend in Israel. She has been married twice, and now she has a boyfriend, and she has kids from both marriages. And she has, I would say, like really amicable relationship. I admire how she has managed to build such a relationship with both her ex-husbands. They take the kids, and her new boyfriend, he has kids from previous marriage as well. And they try to spend time only together. Like, for example, when kids are with their fathers and his kids are with their mother, they travel together. Then several times per year, they gather all the kids for a family holiday, like his kids, her kids, and they spend time together. It depends on the person. So the fact that she has never been married and she doesn't have kids doesn't equal no drama in your relationship. And again, we are talking about age groups. If you are 29, you have never been married, you don't have children, of course you can date. There will be plenty of ladies your age, a bit younger, like a few years older, who have never been married and don't have children. But if we are talking about a man who is 45 or 52, and he wants to jump on this last train to actually get married if he's 52 and have kids, and he tries to be picky that I won't date her because she has kids, or I won't date her because she's a Capricorn, this looks ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. I would say that very often people build such challenges in their heads. So everything depends on the attitude. If if you love this lady, if you want to build relationship with her, if you have great communication with her and you understand each other, so if you have a mutual feelings and mutual understanding, then you will be able to build communication with her kids, with all her relatives, and of course it doesn't guarantee you drama. But if you build a lot of obstacles, challenges in your head, so I will date her, and she has children, and these children, they have father, and she also has parents, and when you start to put all this information on you and you try to look at it as a huge challenge, then of course it will become a challenge to you, and of course your attitude from the beginning will be not so easy to this situation. So it depends on you. If your attitude is fine, if you accept such things that life and this person give you, then of course you to build a normal communication, and it doesn't guarantee drama. It's absolutely right that you don't know what can bring drama into your life. Maybe really it will be your relatives who will always influence your relationship. The fact that she doesn't have kids will not help you in it. So you have to build the positive and healthy attitude to it from the beginning.
A lot depends on the background of the lady, like her family. Of course, our relatives, our family, they have influence on us. But again, sometimes gentlemen ask about education of the lady. If they're talking about Eastern Europe, post-Soviet countries like Ukraine, for example, her parents got education in Soviet Union, most likely. And half of those universities, they don't exist. And those professions, they don't exist anymore because, well, now with internet, many professions like that people wasted like 5 years of their lives and which was up to date like 30 years ago. Now those professions, they don't exist because now you have computers and internet. So the fact that whether her parents had a degree or they didn't have a degree, it will say nothing about the lady. Because, for example, she's another story. She has a degree, she built a career, she moved from a small town to a bigger city. So you have to look at the whole picture. You can't predict whether there will be drama with the father of the kids on the first date. You have to talk to a lady and see how your communication, how your acquaintance will develop. And 3 to 5 dates, you can see if there can be more between the two of you. And of course, if there will be unnecessary drama, if she talks in a very negative way about her ex, about father of her children, and he is such a bad person and she is very negative, this is the red flag that you shouldn't date this person. But if, for example, well, they got married, for whatever reason, they got divorced, and he has remarried, moved on, she is looking for someone to build a new relationship, she has moved on, she has a good career, so she's not a damsel in distress, so she has a good life. She wants to have a partner in this life. Yes, she has a kid who stays with her because, well, she is a traditional Ukrainian mother who wants her kid to stay with her. Her ex-husband, he has his new family. Like, her kid has a certain relationship, good relationship with his father. So in this scenario, I don't see any potential drama. So you have to dig deeper. And again, I return that you have to pay attention at the age group. If you are 47 and you want to date someone who has never been married and who doesn't have children, what have been you doing like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, if it is so important to you to have a fresh start, as you call it? So let's jump to the next one, because I want to cover them all. The third one, single moms are used to making decisions on their own. If I have a child with one, there is good chance that she will have the attitude of, I have already been a parent, so I know what is best. That's totally ridiculous. The expectation is that I should just let her make all the decisions and simply be there to support her. I have never met a woman who is a single mother and who would tell a guy that I know better because I already have a child. Well, maybe she knows how to pack a stroller. Maybe she knows that, or maybe she knows how to better wash baby bottles. Yes, she has experience with that, but this experience can be beneficial for both of you. I think it depends on the character and not the fact that she's a single mother. If the lady is just bossy and she's the type of a person who knows it all, then she will act this way, but it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a single mom.
Yes, I think that this person just brought his own experience into this comment, just with one single person, and now he's
or stereotypes. He had the stereotype. Okay, she's a single mother, so she will make all the decisions herself. No, of course not. It depends. It totally depends on the personality. We have introduced a couple. One of our favorite couples. They have been invited to my wedding. I have been to their wedding. So after we were done with the contract, we became friends. And the lady, she had a kid from the first marriage, and they had 2 more children together in their marriage. She was 37 and he was 47 when we have introduced them. And now they have 3 kids. And she sometimes said that her oldest daughter from the first marriage and her husband, they are plotting against her because, for example, when the daughter was choosing college, they live in the United States. Mom has, of course, hoped that her daughter will stay in the same state. But the daughter dreamt to relocate to California. And the mother thought that, oh, that's too far. I won't be able to visit her on the weekends. She should choose something closer. And she said that she tried to find reasons to convince her daughter to stay in their home state. And she said that 2 weeks later, I understand that, okay, something is wrong. Like, my husband and my oldest daughter, they are too quiet. And then her husband told her that, you know what, I have already signed the papers. We have discussed it and we have agreed on California. So she is moving. So it depends on people. And her husband and her oldest daughter, they have built a fantastic relationship. So they are a really beautiful family. Okay, Katerina, number 4. I have no right to discipline her children, even if they are living in my house.
I will be not in the beginning. Just repeat, please.
I have no right to discipline her children, even if they are living in my house.
So first of all, every relationship, it's some kind of agreement between you and lady. And always when you start a new relationship, in the beginning, you discuss some rules, some traditions that you will have.
Adult rules, yes.
Of course, that you will have in your relationship. So you have some habits, you have some standards of life, and she also has her own. And when you start relationship or you discuss them, you speak about it honestly, especially if you're moving together. So you have some rules of your own relationship, and it's totally fine to have them. It's how people usually build a healthy relationship. When she brings her children to your house, of course, it doesn't mean that these children will be only, like, only on her side, only part of her responsibility, and only she makes the rules that are connected
You will be
with
the
them.
grown-ups and they will be kids. So it will be two teams, team parents and team children.
Or so it doesn't mean that only she will make rules for her children, because now you're on one space, all of you on one space, and you will discuss not only rules connected with two of you, but with children too. So of course it doesn't mean that if she brings her children to your house, then only she will tell them what to do, where to go, how to behave. No, absolutely not. Of course it depends on the rules that you will build together in your family. So because when you move together, when you start living, if you're not officially married, anyway you become like some type of a family, and in a family there will be rules that are built by both of you,
I
not only
hope
by—
if you bring children, if, for example, children are involved, then you will move in together only after like you got engaged or you got married. Because like to move in together when you are not like officially together, then it's not a good idea. Katerina, let's try to hurry up because I want to cover all of them, and the gentleman has left many, and there are many other interesting comments. So the gentleman writes, I might grow attached to the children and she can take them right out of my life and I have no say. Well, same thing can happen if, for example, you had children together and for whatever reason, the marriage, it didn't work out, you have taken a divorce. She can choose to relocate. She can relocate to another state, to another town. What will you do? Try to take her to court and create lots of drama? She can decide to remarry. So there is no guarantee. If you're talking about love and relationship, there is no guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
You can't buy an insurance for this. So yes, you take a risk when you build a relationship with someone. When you get married, you invest your time, you invest your love, and as our motto says, you invest your life where you invest your love. So it is very important to choose the right person. But again, of course, you will get attached, and kids will move out eventually. But again, it depends how smart you are about your choice when you choose the person today to invest your love and your life and your time, and how two of you will build this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Katerina,
Yes.
the one for you. I will be expected to use my money to raise them. I hear plenty of women say that they don't want to raise another woman's children, and society has no problem with that. But as soon as the man says the same thing, he's a horrible, selfish person.
In general, again, when you build relationship together, when you start a family, it means that the financial part will be also taken by two of you. Or if a lady, she's coming to your country, then during the first period of time, of course, she will need your help in it. But in this situation, it is difficult to say that you're obliged to do something. Of course, it would be nice if you take part in their life, in ladies' life and her children, if you support them financially, because you become one family. So it's you can't divide separately your life, her life, and her children's life. You become a family, and in a family, of course, again, you discuss the rules in the beginning, but usually in family, of course, financial responsibilities, they're also taken by one person, by two people, how you discuss it together.
You will have a budget, yes, and you have to talk about money. I agree with you that not all women want to date men who have kids, and not all men want to date women who have children. But again, if we're talking about certain age groups, when the lady who is, for example, 38, and she said that I would never ever date a divorced man or a father, for example, she is 42, this sounds a little bit ridiculous to you. Same comes to men, because at certain age groups, you understand that people around you, like, look at your colleagues, at your classmates, at people you went to college with, to high school with, your childhood friends, people your age. The majority, if you are like over 35, will already have some history. They have been married, some of them have kids, some of them are divorced, because life was going on. And the idea that you are, for example, 38, or you're 45, or you are 52, and you will start dating someone who has never been married, who doesn't have children, who is a virgin, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You will limit yourself to a pool of candidates. And yes, there can be some fantastic people who, for whatever reason, they didn't build a family. But you risk, if, for example, you're 47 or 52, or, for example, 42, and you want to date only someone who has never been married and don't have kids, you risk to meet many women who have unrealistically high expectations. They are very picky, or they are very unrealistic. They have totally crazy, very juvenile expectations and understanding about love and relationship. So you risk meeting different type of people. I'm not telling you right now that if the lady is 38 and she has never been married and doesn't have kids, it's a red flag. There can be numerous reasons why, for example, at certain stages of her life, marriage was not a priority. Again, it's a case-to-case situation, so you can't try to put everyone into the same group, that all people, or all single mothers, or all people who have never been married. No, you shouldn't be doing that, because the only person who will suffer because of such cliche, and most of the points that you have mentioned, they are cliches, will be you, because you can miss many great opportunities.
Yes.
Same comes to ladies who say that, okay, I'm 38 and he's 42 and he has a kid from the first marriage and I don't want to date him. I will be looking for someone just like him, but there's no kids. She risks wasting lots of time. If he matches all her other criteria, like, for example, he wants to have more kids, he is kind, he is romantic, he is smart, he is hardworking. She likes his looks, so she's physically attracted. He matches all the other important criteria, but she dismisses him because he has been married before. She risks not meeting another person like that.
Yes, I agree with you.
Katerina, number 7, you will like this one. Invariably, there is a good chance that the children she has will hate me.
Why?
There is a chance that your own kids will hate you if you are not a good person. If you're a good person and if you invest your time and effort and you try to build a great relationship, why would they hate you?
It's a very strange comment, because or it is based on personal experience, and maybe the communication of this guy was not so good with children. His behavior to the children was not so good. That's why they hated him. But in general, kids, they don't hate anyone just because of his existence. The person has to do something to be hated.
If he is good to their mother and if he is good to them, actually, I have seen it so many times when, for example, the lady has fallen in love with the guy when she saw like how kind, attentive, and passionate he was with her kid. When she has introduced like her boyfriend to her children, she said that at that moment I understood that I want to marry that guy and I want to be with that guy forever, because like he really does his best to get attention of my son or my daughter, and that's important. So Katerina, you will like this one as well. She may decide that because she already has children that she may not want anymore. You can ask this question when you date. Do you want to have more kids?
Yes, it can be, but again, it is something that you discuss from the beginning before you build relationship, and especially before you move together. You discuss the question of future kids together, and of course, it can happen even with a lady that doesn't have kids. You will ask her, and she doesn't
there
want
can
to have.
be. I have seen it like so many gentlemen, like during the interviews. I hear stories like he has dated a woman, and he thought that she wanted to get married. And I remember one man told me that he has proposed to his girlfriend of 2.5 years, and she took a ring, and a week later she returned the ring, and she told him that, you know what, I don't want to get married. I thought that we were on the same page, and I thought that we would be boyfriend and girlfriend, but I don't believe in official marriage. For 2.5 years, they have been dated, and they have never ever talked about marriage. And when he asked her, like, why did you accept the ring? She said that, oh, it was so romantic. We were in the restaurant, so I couldn't say no, but you know what? I thought it over, and yes, I don't want that. For example, a man told me a story that his wife, like, they have been married for maybe 4 years, and he told her that he wanted to have kids, and she kept telling him that later, they have been dating for about the same amount of time they have been married. And she had one project, other project, then she got a promotion, and they got divorced because he has realized that she didn't want to have children. She kept postponing it. So not only you have to be on the same page about having kids, you have to talk about it, like really talk, not assuming that as a woman she will be willing to get married and have children, but actually talk about it out loud, like openly as adults. And you have to talk about timing as well, because it can happen that you want to have kids now, and she can think that, okay, I will have them in 5 years, or in 10 years, or in my 30s, in my late 30s, middle 30s. Now some men will claim, will write in the comments that you can't have kids in your 30s. You can have them in your 40s too, and the male age has also an influence on the health of the baby. So like 2 people participate in creating the baby. So to claim that he is 55 and he's just fine, and all women in their 20s and 30s should want to have his babies, no. Women also think about the age of the man. And sometimes when we interview ladies for our clients in their 40s, for example, he is 47 and the lady is 34, and that's a big age difference. And we talk to a lady and we tell that he wants to have kids, and ladies tell that, you know what, Svetlana, when the kid will be 13, if the father is now 47, do the math. So he will be 60. How the kid will feel that the grandfather is coming to school. And many ladies have this attitude. So when men tell that, oh, men and women just age differently and women don't care about age, they do. So timing is very important.
Yes.
Katerina, I will read the rest of this comment, and I think we will make a wrap. Maybe we will devote another video to reading these comments below this video, because there is plenty of comments. So the gentleman writes, there are marriages with single moms that work out great. I'm not saying that I would never marry a single mom, but I would be very cautious. Generally speaking, the risk outweighs the benefits, at least from a man's point of view.
Like, you know, you have this right not to choose single mothers. You can do it. You just have to understand that you limit the pool of possible candidates, that you have less chances, especially if you're talking about the age groups older than 20 years. Then of course you limit your
20. That's too young. I would say like 39 and up.
Yes, then of course you limit the pool of possible candidates. But if you feel inside there you are absolutely not into growing others' children, and you can't date a lady who has children, then you have to be honest with yourself first of all, and with her. So if you feel that anyway, with any conditions you can't do it, then don't start dating a lady with children. You will limit yourself, your chances will become smaller, but at least you will be honest with yourself and you will do what you want, what you really want. If you feel that you're open, then all the topics can be discussed, and all the rules can be set in the beginning, and believe us, you can build a healthy relationship, absolutely normal, happy, healthy relationship, because we saw it by our experience for so many times, how people build a relationship with single mothers and they are very happy. Sometimes they have children together after that, sometimes they don't. but it doesn't make them less happy than others. So of course you have to be honest with yourself. You have to put all the conditions you want to get from the relationship.
Sometimes they don't have children because they decide not to, because right now the gentleman will tell it, oh, I have been right, she has decided not to have more kids.
Oh, of course, because they decided together, because they decide this topic and they make this decision together. So of course it is based on the common decision. So all couples are unique, but if you feel for yourself that you are absolutely not into building relationship with a single mother, just don't do it. You will make you unhappy yourself, and you will make her unhappy too. So don't do this.
I would say that it depends on the age group. I don't know how old this man is, but if you are, let's say, if you are in your 40s, you should hurry up. If you want to have more kids, you should talk to a psychologist about your fears. It's always a good idea to do some therapy. It's always a good idea. Because very often our fears, they're not rational. Of course, we have right to have our fears, and it's okay to feel not sure, insecure sometimes, but it is important to work it through. Because if you are, like, let's say 45 and you want to date only women who have never been married and who don't have kids, well, you have to understand that first of all, there will be many men who will be willing to get their attention. Some of them will have kids, some of them won't have kids, some of them will be younger than you are, some of them will be taller, some of them will be more well off and affluent, and you will have to compete for their attention. And you have to think about timing. If she is, let's say, 37, she has never been married and she doesn't have kids, will she be willing to date someone who is like 45 or 47? I'm not telling you right now that dating a single mother will be easier, so you won't have to do anything. So because she is so desperate and she will be willing to date just anyone, no. But there will be more options, and you will have a chance to get more ladies to choose to court. So I think this is important. Yes, it seems easier to date someone who doesn't have history. But again, we are talking about age groups. So for guys who are in their 30s now and who think that, okay, like I'm 35 and like in 7 years and 5 years, I will just start dating and there will be lots of options and she will be 10 years younger, never married, blonde, etc. Well, if you will be a Jared Leto, maybe. If not, think about timing. Because dating market changes. Or we just got a request from a gentleman. He has approached us, I think, 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, he wanted to date ladies in their late 20s, early 30s. And we haven't started the process because he didn't think that ladies were beautiful enough for him. He has returned to us 5 years later. He's looking for the same thing, but he got 5 years older. And women he is looking for now, they're not looking for his type.
Of course.
In 5 years, if he still claims that he will be in his 50s and he will claim that he wants to date someone in their late 20s, early 30s, it will be almost impossible.
Yes, people forget about time, unfortunately, or they think that only other people become older.
And they don't.
And they don't, they're always young and beautiful.
I think we will wrap it up here because it's getting quite long and we have many other interesting comments that I would like to discuss with you below this video. Please write to us in the comments below if you want us to proceed reading and discussing comments below this video. Then we will devote one more video, and this time we will choose better timing so that Alessia can stay with us till the very end. But again, interviews with clients, this is a priority. So blog is also very important to us, but clients are a priority always. I recommend you to subscribe to our channel, to press like, especially if you have watched this video till the very end. I remind you that you can support our channel by becoming a sponsor. You can press the button below this video and choose the option to become Diolli friend, Diolli lover, or Diolli family. Also, I recommend you to check our podcasts. We host them together with Katerina. There is a link below this video. And if you like ours, talking in the relaxed atmosphere about dating-related topics and sharing more dating stories, I absolutely recommend you to do this. And like always, twice per week at this channel for almost 8 years already. I think it has been 8 years. We share with you videos, practical dating tips and advice. And if you want to book a first consultation, free consultation with a matchmaker, if you are interested in our matchmaking service, please email us at Katerina@Diolli.com, or fill in the form at our website. We'll also leave the link below this video.
We wish you luck.
We wish you lots of love. Bye, guys.